Hi everyone, thank you for coming here. If you've seen my previous video, you know that I got a job in Australia from India. After I got the job offer, my employer initiated my TSS or 482 visa. The employer hired a global mobility vendor or agent to help me out throughout my visa process. So the agency was there to help me with any questions that I had. It helped me collate or arrange for my documents, and it also filed my visa application, and it intimated me when my visa was granted, which was just one day after they filed for it. So basically I got my Australia visa within one working day. It was unbelievable for me. The agency requested a lot of documents from me, and it's very important that your documentation is complete and accurate so that you get your visa in time. This video is a complete guide to tell you what all documents you need in order to file for your 482 visa, and it also tells you how you can arrange for the documents. First, we'll talk about the documents that you probably already have with you.
Passport copies of you and your dependents. A good quality recent passport size photograph of you and your dependent. Main applicants' degree certificates and mark sheets. Full unbridged birth certificates of your children if they are included in your visa application. Marriage or de facto relationship evidence.
If your partner is a part of your visa application, then marriage certificate or de facto relationship evidence needs to be provided to prove that you are in a genuine relationship with each other. Your partner does not necessarily have to be a husband or wife. You can also add your boyfriend or your girlfriend to your visa application, which is called a de facto relationship. A de facto relationship essentially means that you are formally not married but are living together. De facto relationship can include partners of opposite gender as well as of the same gender. So it's good for the LGBT community. Now, if you're a married couple, you can obviously show your marriage certificate as an evidence. But if you are in a de facto relationship, you have to provide evidences that you have been living together as a couple for at least 6 months. There are many proofs or evidences that you can provide to prove your relationship to the Australian government. Proofs like any joint ownership of an asset like car or land that you have, joint bank account details, sharing of finances like transferring money, etc. If you want to have the complete list of documents you can produce to prove your de facto relationship, let me know by commenting. Now comes the list of documents that you'll have to arrange. These wouldn't be available with you. It takes time to get these documents made or arranged. So be mindful of the time and try to do these as soon as possible. And some of these documents also incur some costs. In my case, all the visa related cost or expenses were reimbursed by my company.
English language proficiency evidence for primary applicant.
As a primary applicant of TSS visa, you have to provide evidence that you have a vocational level of English proficiency. There are two ways to prove this. First, by taking English tests like TOEFL, IELTS, etc. Second is the exemption method, which means that you can be spared from taking English test if you can prove that you have completed minimum 5 years of study in English. And by 5 years of study, it doesn't mean that you show that you've done schooling from class 1 to class 5. No, you have to start counting your study years starting class 9th onwards. Preferably, I would recommend that you show your study evidence class 10th onwards, I mean starting class 11th. For example, in order to show my English language proficiency evidence or proof, I showed that I had completed 2 years of my 11th and 12th in English, and then I did 4 years of my BTech degree in English medium as well. So basically, you have to get a letter from the institute stating that you completed this degree in these many years, and during that course of time, your medium of study was English. Now the agency also gave me a reference letter or a template that I could use to get my education certificates or references in. but generally the institutes themselves have those already handy, because you are not the only one reaching out to them. They have catered to these requirements in the past as well. So I visited my school and my college to get the letters from each one of these institutes, and the letters clearly stated that I completed this degree from this year to this year, and I had completed this degree in English medium. Also note that this is not a letter that you can request your professor or your teacher to write for you. This is a letter that is put on the institute's letterhead, so it has to be attested by the college itself. It has to be issued to you by a person in the college or school who is authorized to do so. So this is the method that I use to prove that I have a good amount of knowledge and experience in English. There are other exemptions as well. I will leave a link of the Australian Home Affairs website that elaborates on the English proficiency requirements and exemptions.
Work reference letter for primary applicant.
To prove that you have at least 2 years of relevant experience in the field that you are getting nominated to, you have to get work reference letter from your company or from your former company. And this is not your regular service certificate or relieving letter that you get when you quit a company. In addition to what we already have in our service certificate, this work reference letter also has a list of roles that you have performed when you were working in that company, and all these tasks or these roles are attested by your senior or your manager preferably. So basically, your manager is confirming that yes, this candidate has worked on these tasks. It's not that you get this letter written directly by your manager or somebody else or a colleague in the company. Like the English proficiency certificate, even this one has to be put on the company letterhead, which means that it has to come from the company itself. It means that the company is attesting that you have worked in this position for this long, and during that tenure these were your roles and responsibilities. So how I arranged for my work reference letter, I mailed my company's HR telling her about my requirement and why I needed it. The HR replied to me saying that she needed some details from me, like my name, my employee ID, purpose of the letter, and she also told me to enclose my relieving letter along with the mail when I replied to her, so that she could check my records, and also a list of roles and responsibilities approved by my line manager. It is suggested that you normally put around 5 roles in this kind of a letter. So I mailed my line manager with the roles and responsibilities, and I asked him for his approval on that email. Once he approved that, I sent this email to my HR with the other details she had requested for. As soon as she received the letter, she immediately released my work experience letter. So this was the process that I went through to receive my work experience certificate. If you are also working in a decent sized company, I believe the process would be similar to this. Normally, HRs are the authorized people who have the authority to cater to these kind of requests.
Health examination for you and your dependents.
Now, it's not that you get any kind of health examination done from any center that you want. There is a specific process that you have to follow, wherein you need to get specific health checks done from specific clinics which are approved by the Australian government. Firstly, you need to create an IMI account by filling your basic details like name, phone number, etc. After creating it, you log in and click on new application and fill the health declaration form, which has a list of questions. Once submitted, you click on organize your health assessment. It will direct you to a screen asking you about your medical history. Once you submit this, you can download your medical referral letter, and this form that gets generated has your HAP ID as well as the tests that you need to get done. You need your HAP ID in order to make your appointment for your health checkup. Once you have your HAP ID ready with you, you can go ahead and schedule your appointment at an approved center. To check the list of approved clinics, you can click on the link that I'm showing here, and the same link would be in the description box as well. The health examination costed me around 5,000 per applicant. So for me and my husband, it was a total of 10,000 rupees. I paid at the center itself when I went to get the health examination done. So there were 3 tests that we got done. First was the general physician test that included the blood test. Second was the X-ray. Third was the urine test. And you don't get the reports instantly. You get your urine report in 1 week's time in your mailbox. And for the chest x-ray, you don't even get it. It is directly sent to the Australian government. You will have no insight to the outcome of it.
Police clearance certificate.
You need to get police clearance from all the countries where you've spent at least 12 cumulative months in the last 10 years. This needs to be obtained for all the people in your application who are above 16 years of age.
Search for police verification followed by your state name. Go to services, register as a new user. After registering, log in to your user profile. Fill in the details requested and upload the documents asked for and pay the amount of 500 rupees per applicant. After this, you need to visit the Passport Seva office to get your police verification done. Declaration and privacy statement.
I was also made to sign a declaration and privacy statement which basically confirmed that I'm authorizing the agency to collect my data in order to file for my visa application.
Client information form.
I was also sent a client information form which I believe is not directly submitted to the Australian government. It was the agency's way of getting to know the applicants in a better way. This was just a form asking for our details like name, date of birth, education, travel history, etc. This was only for the agency's reference to back our visa application.
Form 1221.
I was also asked to fill in form 1221 for me as well as my partner. It is basically a supplementary form required to be filled to support your visa application. It has some very basic questions about you. I will leave a link of this form in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Also, I've shared everything according to my own experience. If you feel that I've missed something or you would like to add anything, or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Bye bye.